Hey, y'all, and welcome to the Games That Were podcast where two gamer dads discuss the games that make an impact on them and just talk about current gaming and news as well. I got my good buddy here, Sir Vern. Vern, how's it going?
Hello, hello. Good, good, man. How are you?
Um, Doing great, man. So, what games are you playing today?
So I'm jumping back into the PSVR 2. I had a daughter about 4 months ago, so it's been tough to totally escape like that. But I started playing Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy. It's really, really fun, really well made VR game. And I just beat the worst game I've ever played last night called Skull Island Rise of Kong. do not do not play
Nice.
that game, but that's what I've been playing. What about yourself?
Awesome. I've been playing the Diofield Chronicles.
Oh
It's
yeah.
really cool. It's an RTS game, and you play as heroes basically, trying to defeat everybody. It's just been a really good game. I put about 9 hours into it, so I'm guessing I'm getting pretty
Awesome.
close to beating it. But it's been really good.
Yeah, I love that game, man. But yeah, you can check out both of those on my YouTube channel, Sir Vern. On there, I
Awesome.
reviewed the worst game ever, Skull Island, Rise of Kong, and also the Diofield Chronicle, which Ryan's playing. So, but yeah, welcome to our podcast, everybody. Today's game is going to be Halo 3. Every podcast will focus on a game or something, like the news or something along those lines. But we're going to go over Halo 3 today, and we're going to go over some questions that we wrote but answered separately. And so, yeah, Halo 3. We lived together when this game came out, went to the midnight release for this game. So, we're both pretty passionate about this game. We both love the Halo franchise. And we're going to start off with the first question. I'll let you answer this one. What are three things, or name one out of three things you liked about the game?
All right. Well, I mean, the game was fantastic all the way around, I thought. But one thing that stood out to me, of course, was the graphics. I had my old school Vizio plasma TV back in the day, and it
Yep.
was just popping. The graphics were popping. I felt like I was there in the game. It just made it so exciting. All the colors. It was just freaking great. I mean, it was just totally awesome.
Yeah, one of the things I liked as well was it's on new hardware, much more powerful hardware, and it just really, it just shined. It was beautiful, and one of the things I really liked is the introduction of new mechanics in the game, such as like the bubble shield. Um, that was one thing that really stood out to me. It was just I loved what they added. Halo 1 and 2 were both great, but I loved how I think Halo 3 is a perfect shooter. It's my favorite first person shooter of all time, and I think it's perfect. And I love that mechanic, the bubble shield. I thought that was really innovative and fun to use. And another thing they added was the forge. Before it was just so cool to make your own maps and have others join your maps, play other user created maps. I thought that was really, really fun and brought a lot to the game. What's
Definitely.
another one you
So
got?
awesome.
Yeah, man.
So really liked the multiplayer aspect of the game. I mean, playing Halo 2 back in the day, it was one of the greatest multiplayer games of all time, and they brought that back for Halo 3, and it was just as exciting, like how you were talking about all the weapons, the bubble shield that, came out that you could use defensively. I mean, it was just great. It was so fun to invite all of your friends, play for hours. The different game modes, team deathmatch, big team battle, capture the flag, and oddball were just
Mhm.
great game types to play, and you could just play them for hours, and it was just totally awesome.
Yeah, and I wrote that as well. I wrote multiplayer perfection. I really do. I feel like it was a perfect game. And one thing I like about this over modern shooters is their leveling system. I really liked how it was 1 to 50 in each, whether it be big team battle or team deathmatch, you could level up within that category, rather and you could lose levels too. You would go from 1 to 2, but you could also go back to 1, which I really appreciated. Modern shooters are just you get experience for how well you played, um, whether you win or lose, you're going to level up, maybe slower if you don't do as well. But I really like the leveling system, and I loved the maps. I thought Guardian, I think, was my favorite map, but like the Pit, the Narrows, the big team battles on Valhalla where people were shooting off the little launchers with banshees flying around. It was epic, perfect. I love the multiplayer.
Agreed. I totally agree with that.
You got anything else for things you liked about the game?
So I guess the last thing that I really like, kind of what you were talking about, the levels, the multiplayer levels were just fantastic. I think one of my favorite ones was Standoff. That was really great. Just one of my favorites. I really liked the one where, you know, you could see the moon. I believe it was in that level Standoff where you could see the
I think
moon
so.
in the sky with the clouds. It was just so
Yeah,
detailed. And I just really felt
yeah,
like I was a part of the game, like I was inside the game, and just found that really awesome.
yeah. Man, the skyboxes did look epic in that game, and the campaign will be the last thing I'll touch on. Me and you beat it the night it came out. Well, I guess into the morning. It was epic, man. It was such a good campaign. I loved it. We beat it the night it came out. But man, just playing to be able to play together and beat that campaign and add modifiers in there like skulls and just different difficulty settings. Driving the warthog around with a gunner is just that's hard to beat. That was
Yep.
epic memories.
Definitely.
So yeah, I mean,
Definitely.
I'm sure we could talk about things we liked about the game forever, but let's move on to our next question. Three criticisms about the game, and I'll let you start off with one.
Okay. I guess I just probably have one because so
Mm,
many great things were with this game. But my only one is that I wish the campaign was longer. I think it's about 8 hours, but I wish they would have put that up to like, I don't know, maybe 20 or even longer because it was just so good. Like we talked about earlier, the weapons, the level design, the graphics just made you feel like you were a part of that game. And I really did get, sucked into it. I thought I was there in the levels, playing with the soldiers, and it just was so great. And
yeah,
that's my only criticism.
yeah. Really, the only criticism is that I have, like I said earlier, it's my favorite first person shooter. I think it's so close to perfect, and some would probably consider it perfect. But the only criticism I have is once you got to level 50, which wasn't a problem for me, I never got to level 50. But if you did, there would be little reason to play again because you could just lose level, um, which is a lot different. We'll get to then our next question. We'll talk about sequels and remasters, but that would be my really only gripe about the original Halo 3 as it came out in 2007. Is that when it came out?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that would be my only criticism. Other than that, oh, I do have one more. Sorry. Uh, we bought legendary editions in the tin, the steel case. And when we got home, I don't know if you remember, but some of one of our two or both of our discs were loose, and it was a known issue with the game. In fact, they sent out replacements if you requested it because it's like the glue came loose, the thing holding the disc on, so you would hear it rattling around. But other than that, the game is perfect. Maybe the manufacturing for the case wasn't the best, but the game is like a perfect game to me. So
Oh yeah. I remember that falling apart. We were scared that it might have scratched, and they didn't put enough
yeah,
hot glue on it or something. I don't know what happened, but
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Nowadays, I order most of my games physically, and most of them come off the holder anyway. But in that case, the actual holder, the thing came off. So I don't think that's ever happened. Sorry, my dogs are
You're
going
good.
crazy.
It's all good, man.
But anyway, so we'll move on to number three, and I guess I'll answer this one first.
Okay.
Does the game deserve a sequel or a remaster? Well, it did. It came out the Master Chief Collection, which I purchased, and me and you've played that together on PC, uh, and it does most things right. When it came out on Xbox, there was a few problems with it. Um, I think they had kind of a rough launch, but as it stands right now, it's great. I do have one gripe, and that's that they did change the leveling system. I believe it's no longer 1 to 50 leveling anymore. The only leveling system it's more modernized, which I'm not a huge fan of. but the core gameplay is still there. In fact, they remade Halo 1, 2, or remastered 1, 2, and 3 as part of the Master Chief Collection, and maybe even a few more. You might know better than me. But Halo 3 is definitely a part of that sequel remaster, and I think it's great. So I'll let you touch on that if you'd like.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, of course, Master Chief Collection, and the next sequel was Halo 3 ODST. Um, and honestly, so back in the day, I remember we quit playing Halo after Halo 3, and I think it's just because maybe we got tired of Xbox, and I remember we got PS3s, and I went back, and my mother in law actually gave me a gift card for the Xbox Live store, and I bought the Master Chief Collection because I wanted to play all the games again, and I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to play the ones that I hadn't played. So I played ODST and Halo 4 on there, along with 1, 2, and 3. And I really enjoyed Halo ODST. It's kind of different. It's told from a squad. It's different squad mates have different stories. It was just
Yeah.
very cool. I liked the environment, and I really liked the music. They had this kind of jazz style music throughout most of it, and it just kind of put the whole game together. And just I really enjoyed that. But yeah, you can get that on the Master Chief Collection. They've redone all the levels, multiplayer and campaign levels, and the graphics look awesome. I mean, it's crystal. It's so good. Yeah.
Yeah, even on my PC, which isn't the best, it looks amazing. And I did go back years later and repurchased a 360 and played Halo 4. I don't think I played much of the campaign, but I did play some multiplayer, and it was okay. I think it lost some of the magic, but it's not like a terrible game. I need to go through all the campaigns like you did, especially 1, 2, and 3. I need to replay those because it's been so long.
Oh, you got to go back to it, man. It's so great.
Yeah. All right, man. I'll let you answer. The last question we have is what made the game stand out to you?
Um, so I guess the big thing was Halo 2. It was so awesome. I spent countless hours during my senior year in high school just playing games from 4 o'clock all the way up till 10 or 11. Didn't do any homework. I'm not sure how I graduated, but I did.
Same here.
And because that game was so great, it wanted me to get Halo 3. Another thing was the marketing for the game. You remember the commercial about the two kids laying in the field, and one of them looks up at the sky and they're like, "Do you think there's anybody out there?" And the other kid goes, "I don't know, maybe." And you see Master
Yeah.
Chief coming in with the bubble shield.
Oh,
Awesome.
yeah.
Gives
Mhm.
me chills every time, even to this day, watching that commercial. It was just so thought out. It made you want to play the game. And, I don't regret ever buying that game. And still today, I love to play it. I've got a poster hanging up there, Halo 3. I mean, it's probably one, if not my favorite game of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I that game. I started off with Halo 1. I saw it at a growing up in the summer. An older kid had the Xbox, and they would link them up and play up to 16 players. I went over there, got my butt kicked, but I was hooked. The first time I saw Halo, I said I have to get an Xbox. So I mowed yards, washed cars, did what I had to do. I got my original Xbox, got obsessed with Halo, got obsessed with Halo 2 even more. Me and my brother were both obsessed with it. And then Halo 3 comes out. Me and you live together, goes to the midnight release, and it was epic. I remember being at the midnight release, being in the line at 100 deep. It was an event. I don't remember. I don't know if they even have stuff like that anymore, but that many people that passionate about a game says a lot. And we gave the guy at the counter. It took forever. We were standing in line for, I mean, probably till 2 in the morning, just getting the game purchased. And we were standing in the line, and I called the store Game Crazy in Hollywood Video, I think it was called. And I was like, "What are you doing? Reading the back of the case, everybody? Like, we're in the line. Hurry up!" And he got mad, and slammed down the phone. Man, I'll just never forget those days. It was so much fun. I asked off for work the next day. I think to this day that is the only game I've ever asked off of work for. because I was that excited about it. Halo 2 is real close to perfect, but Halo 3 adding things like the Forge, being able to edit your own maps and where people spawn and all of that, just the gameplay, I thought it was just perfect. It is so much fun to even go back today. I really wish we had more games like that coming out. There was clans, it was so much to Halo 3, and it's still that's why I consider it my favorite first person shooter of all time. It's amazing.
Oh, I agree. And I had a great time with the midnight release too. I mean, we were with just a sea of humanity, gamers, and just the hype level was so intense. I mean, it was just totally awesome. Um, I also remember another commercial that got me interested was the little figurine commercial. It depicted like a battlefield of
Hmm.
all the soldiers fighting the Covenant, and it kind of winds through the whole thing, and then you see Master Chief at the end, being held up by a Covenant soldier, and his head lifts up, and then you see Hope. It flashes the words Hope on the next screen, and it was just so like so mesmerizing and
Yeah,
just so great. I was like, I've got to have it, got to have that game, and it was
yeah.
totally
The
awesome.
marketing back then with like Gears of War 1, where they played Mad World, and that Believe commercial that you're talking about was epic. In fact, I made my wife go back and tortured her, and it's like, watch these commercials. How they still get you pumped up, whatever, 15, 20 years later. That's the way games should be marketed, because even if the game was terrible, you'd buy it because the marketing was so good. But lucky for us, the game was just as good as the marketing. It was so much fun. Uh, Everything about that game. I loved the battle rifle, the sniper rifles, rocket launchers, plasma. Everything was fun. I loved it, man.
It was a great game, and I don't really know if there's been another one that I've been that hyped about. I mean, I went to the Grand Theft Auto 5 release, back in 2015 with a buddy,
Hmm.
and we had a good time and everything, but I it just didn't kind of match up to the hype of Halo 3. And of
Yeah,
course, GTA 5 is great, great game. And I'm excited about the sixth one coming out. I think that'll be pretty cool.
me too. I cannot wait.
But yeah, I can't think of any other game that's been hyped up that much.
The only other midnight release that I was even involved with was Destiny, another Bungie game. But at the time, I was working, so I sent my ex girlfriend there. She stood in line with the sweats to get it. But that's the only midnight release I've ever been to, um, and I would do it again if some game came out of that just legendary status.
Same. I would too.
Yeah. But anyway, that's all I got on Halo 3. So,
All right. Well, thanks for watching, y'all. Tune in next time for episode 2, and follow us on YouTube, the games that were, and we're also gonna put a podcast out on Apple and Spotify as well. So tune in, and thanks for watching.
yeah, thanks for stopping by, guys. Bye.
All right. Later.